There is always a germ somewhere in our surroundings. If it happens to be a virus, then that means the danger is a serious one. When the virus enters our bodies by the nose or mouth, it is a suitable cell for itself. However, there is a defending army ready to receive. The first macrophages, which constantly stand guard in our bodies. In other words, the eradication units which moving around between the cells. They have of our bodies. Due to their targets and several germs at the same time, they swallow perceived to be it is in such numbers to overwhelm the attacking macrophages. Then macrophages no origin. This substance calls the entire immune system to arms. Pyrogen also stimulates the fever. Temperature is going up, the need to rest. He is thus prevented from expending his energy in any other way. He is diverted. Before the war begins, it is for the defense to have knowledge of its enemy and to gather intelligence. Here an important task falls to the macrophages, since they are engaged in hand-to-hand combat with the enemy and make the first contact with it. When the macrophages catches and swallows a virus, it carries a part unique to the virus as an information in such a way as to be recognizable from the outside. This prepared for the immune system's helper T cells. Dynamic units intelligence as soon as they receive the intelligence, the helper T cells about the enemy threat. Molecule known as this chemical message is the war call sends the other cells. Thus begins the antibodies in the side. Because of this strategic duty, B lymphocytes are like weapon-producing factories. The antibodies, produced by the analysis of intelligence, partially targeted at the enemy. The B cells' antibody action takes place at an astonishing speed. They produce thousands of antibodies a second. As we have seen, this communication between T cells and B cells is a very alarm code in the army to produce. Emergency mobilization has now been declared in the body, which is now engaged in total war. The defending army is mustered and soon made ready. With its three-dimensional protein structure, the antibody fits the enemy like a key in a lock. Lock to a specific bacteria identified and damage the enemy's Invading germs will thus be neutralized. That produced by the B cells are disease intelligence which is them. This resembles a tank being struck by a guided missile on the battlefield. In this way, an antibody weapon uniquely tailored to the enemy is produced, to such an extent that an antibody for one virus is powerful for another. This sensitivity production resembles millions of cells. However, one cell, to the naked eye, carries that production with no mistakes. This is an achievement which goes beyond the bounds of human reason. The helper T cell, which send another specialist unit into action, killer cells. The virus is neutralized by the antibodies produced. However, invading viruses generally adopt very cunning strategies. Once a virus enters a cell, the antibodies are unable to reach it. Viruses sometimes hide so well inside the cell from the outside. Yet despite that, the immune system still senses the presence of something abnormal. In that event, the killer T cells destroy the sickly cells. Helper T cells are not limited to seen up without delay. Great intelligence behind this behavior because the killer T cells first have to distinguish between normal cells and those in which the enemy is concealed. When they find a live cell, they destroy it by Once victory over the germs has been achieved, suppressor T cells stop the war. The war may be over. B cells during long lives keep the malignant invaders. The aim behind this in the future. When the same enemy is encountered again, the approach will be produced in a shorter space of time. Memory cells live longer than other cells. Further, information about a past war is handed to new memory cells. Thanks to these properties, the information in their is against disease for years. A person who catches a disease as a The fact is, however, it is impossible for a to set out a long-term strategy and then decide to store information. Developed by the but the property given to God. Do not be grieved. It belongs to God, the all-knowing.